Hello, wherever you are, today is the first another edition of Inside Liberia. Our correspondent in Liberia, most of them are not here today. And so, what we decided to do is to deal with the situation that is unfolding at the legislative branch of government. It is a question that we try to see how we can answer a question that is to do with that has to do with members of the legislative branch of the Liberian government. Today, we want to look at whether or not a member of the legislature can be arrested, detained, or prosecuted. That issue was raised recently by Senator Milton Chege after a Liberian leader that resides in the United States um, alleged that Senator Chege took her car and he has since refused to give her her car. Senator Teje in return had a press conference and he denied ever having a car for this lady. And note that the car belongs to his brother. Growing out of that was Senator Teje denied or refused to honor an invitation by the criminal court judge, Kobe Newton, who grounds that when a member of the legislature is in session, he or she cannot be invited, cannot be cited by any other branch of government, we cannot be arrested, detained, or tried. So today we want to look at that issue. Can a member of the legislature be arrested, tried, or prosecuted? That's the question we want to answer this morning, since our correspondent, most of them are not present. Okay, we see one of our correspondents here. Elijah, how are you? Hello, Elijah? Are you hearing me, Elijah? Well, it seems to be Elijah is not hearing me, and so we will continue with what we have to do today. As I said to you, growing out of TJ and Patricia's situation over a car, we have the question that have come out of that. It's an old age question that people ask. Can we or can a member of the legislature be arrested? Many of us say there has been some what I would call public discussion on this issue. And senators themselves, or representatives themselves, believe that they cannot be arrested in the fact that when they are in sitting, they cannot be arrested. What does the Constitution say as that issue? And that's a singular issue we want to discuss this morning. Let's read what the Constitution says. Article 42 of the Liberian Constitution, where it says, no member of the House of Representatives shall be arrested. The House of Representatives or Senate shall be arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried as a result of opinion expressed or votes cast in the exercise of the functions of his office. Members shall be privileged from arrest while attending, going to, or returning from sessions of the legislature, except for treason, felony, or breach of the peace. All official acts done or performed and all statements made in the chambers of the legislature shall be privileged, and no legislator shall be held liable thereto. This is a provision that is relied on by most members of the legislature and even the public in deciding whether or not a member of the legislature can be arrested or tried. Well, Article 42 comes from the framers' mind. Whatever the framers thought at the time when they were drafting the Constitution of Liberia, they decided to provide a provision so as to protect members of the legislature who are to be honorable. Now, let me say, Liberians who go to the poll to elect someone for members to be a member of the Senate or House of Representatives, they need to elect honorable men. They need to elect a group of citizens that are honorable in character, in deeds, in things that they do every day. Because the Constitution is not in vacuum as to the laws, the Constitution and laws of the Republic. Hence, crimes committed, there are recourse. So whether you are a lawmaker or you are an ordinary citizen, when there is a crime committed, The court make a decision based on the Constitution and laws of the Republic. It's often said that no one is above the law. Before let's see. Elijah, how are you? Can you hear me? Elijah, I can't hear you. Hello, Elijah? I can't hear you. Are you hearing me? Okay, it seems to be Elijah is not hearing me. So the issue today is, can a member of the legislature be arrested, tried, or prosecuted? In our opinion, Elijah, you hearing me? Okay. So this is a similar issue we want to discuss today, whether a member of the legislature can be arrested, tried, detained. And to answer this question, we say yes, a member of the legislative branch of government can be arrested. The Constitution expresses that. The framer's mind we can understand what the framers meant in Article 42. So we have with us the Constitution, and let us go into it bit by bit and see what it says, whether or not a member of the legislative branch of government can be arrested. It said, no senator or member of the House of Representatives shall be arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried as a result of opinions expressed or votes cast in the exercise and function of his office. Members shall be privileged from arrest while attending, going to, or returning from session, except for treason, felony, or breach of the peace. So the first concern is the Constitution says members of the legislature can be arrested if they committed any crime, or they commit any crime of felony, or crime of breach of the peace, or any other official act that they do that is free from these acts or these crimes, they are not supposed to be arrested. But further than that, members of the legislature believe that while in session, they cannot be arrested or tried. Meaning, even if they commit a felony or breach of the peace, people that believe in the fact that they are members of the legislature, they are untouchable. Is that a situation? No. Crimes committed for which a member of the legislature being elected to serve the people of Liberia, when he or she commits any crime that is in the category of a felony, he or she can be arrested for that. Or someone who commits treason, any of them that commit treason, he or she can be arrested for that. So at what time do the national security, the police, or the court will have to arrest a member of the legislature? They say that when they are sitting, they are not supposed to be arrested. They say that when they are at their homes, they cannot be arrested, even if they commit a felony. Well, the Constitution did not bar any sheriff or police officers from arresting any of them, assuming that felony was committed by any member of the legislature. So if a member of the legislature committed a felony, he or she can be arrested by the Liberia National Police or the court. If the court summons cited you and you fail to appear based on allegation before the court can order the sheriff to go for whoever is involved in a crime. In the mind of the court, if the court feels the crime committed is equated to a felony, without and the refusal of a representative or senator, that court, having jurisdiction of a case, can in fact send the sheriff for that person. No one is above the law. So when crimes are committed, it is the right of the court to hear. The court will determine whether a member of the legislature is not answerable to the court, but not a member or a group of representatives or senators that will make that decision. So we as a people must be respecters of the law. Now, let me bring this whole case to the point where TJ said he cannot answer to the criminal proceeding judge, Kobe Newton. Kobe Newton cited Senator TJ because there was a case before him that had to do with a vehicle. A lady has alleged that Senator TJ did in fact brought her car into Liberia and falsified the documents, and that TJ is riding the vehicle and he has since refused to give the vehicle to this lady. TJ said because the house is in session, he cannot answer to the court because he's immune from arrest, from being detained, from being tried. Let's look into the Constitution again and see whether we can agree with TJ or disagree with TJ. The Constitution says the phrases that TJ is relying on, and sometimes most of the discussants on this article misinterpret these phrases. And those phrases are, they say what? One member of the Senate or House of Representatives shall be arrested, detained, prosecuted, vote cast in the exercise of the function of his office. Members shall be privileged from arrest while attending. While attending, underscore the phrase, while attending, while going to, or returning from session. While attending session, while going to session, and while returning from session, a member of the legislature is not supposed to be arrested. So, TJ's argument is that as long as there is a sitting of the House of Representatives or Senators, none of them are to be or is to be arrested. So what do we say to this? Can we agree with TJ that the fact that members of the Senate is in session, none of them are supposed to be arrested? The Constitution did not say that. The framers did not say that member attending session or is sitting, he or she is not supposed to be arrested. It says when a member is attending session. Now, attending session is different from a house having a sitting. When you are attending session, it is expected that you're going to take votes. For opinions expressed, for vote cast, this provision protects members of the legislature not to be arrested for expressing their opinions on issues. And I think the framers were looking at the two different branches of government, the legislative branch of government and the executive branch of government. The executive has the police force. The president being displeased with actions taken by members of the House of Representatives, he will order the police force to arrest a senator or representative for opinion expressed or for vote cast. Now, for those issues, vote cast and opinions expressed, the Constitution solely protects members of the legislature for that. The executive branch of government cannot order the Liberia National Police to arrest a senator or representative because he expresses opinion or he voted on issues. That's the protection expressed in this provision of the Constitution, the Liberia Constitution. So beyond that, if a senator committed any crime that can be elevated to a felony, like say for example, TJ is alleged that he falsified a document of a vehicle that was carried in the country. Assuming the allegation is proven by Ms. Patricia, who makes the allegation that TJ, in fact, is in possession of a car, and that TJ has falsified those documents. Assuming that those issues are true, TJ will have to appear before court and answer to this allegation because forgery, the penalty for that could be more than a year of being behind bar, being jailed. So if someone is sent to prison by a court as a result of a crime for more than a year, that becomes a felony. And when it is a felony for which a senator is sitting, he or she can be prosecuted or can be jailed because of that. So TJ cannot sit outside of the court and make a decision that he has not committed any felony. It's not a member of the legislature that make that determination. It is the court. So when the court cites a senator or representative, he or she is supposed to appear. They are not. The Constitution did not say no senator or representative should go to court. It says you should not be arrested, detained, or tried for vote cast and opinions expressed while you are attending session. For your opinions expressed, for your vote cast while you're in session, you are not supposed to be tried for those issues. The executive branch of government cannot order the Liberia National Police to arrest you. Again, while going to session and while coming from session, assuming there was a crime committed, and there's clear evidence that you're going to session, they cannot arrest you while en route to session or while coming from session. But if you committed a crime, and let's assume that without admitting that a senator or representative left and went to a program, went to a party, or went to visit family members or friends, and the sheriff is in possession of a writ of arrest, the sheriff can serve that senator anywhere and arrest that senator. Or if the sheriff cannot do that alone, the sheriff or the court can request the Liberia National Police to aid the sheriff to arrest a senator or representative who is in error by virtue of being in violation of the laws, especially so when crimes are committed. So TJ is in possession of a car, and TJ has not provided any evidence, no proof of he owning the car or his brother owning the car. To take a car from the United States outside of the US, there's no way you can get a car out of here without proper documentation. So, whose name was the car in? Patricia has displayed a lot of paperwork, and those paperwork until TJ can counteract or produce proof that will contradict those papers. I think the Liberia National Police in fact supposed to impound that vehicle. TJ has not shown any evidence that he owns that car or his brother owns that car. TJ had a press conference, and the best evidence that TJ would have produced, other than all of the stuff that he talked, was to produce the car document, the title for that car. That would have closed all of these matters. But TJ decided to raise issues surrounding this car issue and just to baffle the case. And as it stands, it's like everybody has forgotten it. The lady is crying and sitting somewhere, and she's not getting remedy. And Liberians feel, or let's say TJ and those who believe in his conversation or his press conference that he had, they should be telling TJ or the Senate, the Liberian Senate is supposed to take charge of this matter. Because it's an allegation of forgery. For a senator, for any citizen to allege that a senator committed a forgery, that should be a concern for the Liberian Senate. And I think the Liberian Senate is supposed to take charge of this matter. Rather than TJ's press conference and not providing any evidence. The fact that TJ decided to address this issue, it behooves him. It is obligated. TJ is on obligation to produce the title for that car. And I think the Liberia National Police, having heard that TJ in fact said the car is not registered, that should be a major concern for the Liberia National Police. The senator is saying, let's assume that the car was even for TJ. But for TJ to be riding a car that is not registered, that is an error. And that is something that should be at the attention of the Liberia National Police. And by such, that car should be impounded and that investigation be done. And I think George Kobe Nuta was right to have summoned TJ, and TJ needs to answer to the court. That shouldn't be an issue that will be swept under the rug. TJ is an honorable man. Assuming he is, he should be able to provide a title for that vehicle. Some of us can investigate that car issue. The TJ displays the title for that vehicle. We can do research from here. We can determine whether indeed that title is genuine to give evidence and support TJ's argument. Patricia has produced all documents. Even the fellow who sold the car to Patricia, he has attested to Patricia buying that vehicle. So in Liberia, by the time an issue comes out, people discuss it, like wildfire. And as soon as after a few days, it's dead and gone. So TJ deliberately decided to have a press conference and raised a lot of wild allegations without addressing the singular issue. And what is that? The title for that vehicle must be produced. And TJ needs to answer to the court. If not, we think Judge Nutter himself should forward this matter before the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court should take charge of this matter because what? If a judge is defied or is disrespected in this formal manner by a sitting senator, that should be a concern for the Supreme Court bench, the full bench of the Supreme Court. So we do not think that in Liberia, a senator or a singular person, whether you are a senator or representative, you should be the respecter of the court. The court is the last resort where everybody go and get justice. The lady from the US, she lived for her money and got that car. Now, TJ's argument is the car belongs to his brother because his brother was in relationship with this girl. Assuming that is true, TJ also needed to provide evidence whether this girl was in fact married to his brother. If so, was there a divorce? If there was a divorce and there were properties involved, did the court distribute those properties? So it's not an argument for TJ to claim that my brother owns this car. It is his words. The best evidence is not what TJ says. The best evidence is title. Your title is involved in this matter. TJ must provide the title for that vehicle. Other than that, the Liberia National Police should impound that vehicle. In fact, TJ should not be riding that vehicle. The vehicle is not his as far as he has not produced or provided the title. TJ does not own that car. I don't know the lady from anywhere, but the issue raised, TJ should have had a press conference displaying the title of that car with his brother's name on it. But TJ did not. He said he left the title to his house. Since then, has he produced the title? He has not. As far as TJ is concerned, that matter is moot. And that's a wrong way to proceed in Liberia. The common people will be protected. That lady is grieving for her vehicle. In fact, she said she sent her vehicle for her dad. Her father did not ride her car, TJ was riding her car, and her father had died. So TJ now is because I'm a senator, I'm not to be arrested because I'm in session and the Senate is in session. The Senate is not sitting, and the law says when you are attending session is different from having sitting. If the constitutional framers intended to say that when the House is in sitting, they would have expressed that. They did not say when they are in sitting. They said when they are in session. When you are attending, let me say you are in session. They say when you are attending session. Attending is a noun phrase. When a senator is attending session, when he's in session, he's not supposed to be arrested for a vote for what? For vote cast, for opinion expressed. Now for taking somebody else's car or committing fraudulent as alleged. When it is alleged that a senator took someone's car, that's a water allegation that can be equated to a felony by the court, not by TJ. So if there's a falsification and the hearing goes on and the judge decides, okay, this crime has a penalty of fine for more than $1,000, that's a felony. That's a felonious crime. Because felony has a yardstick. Crime of misdemeanor has a fine for less than $1,000 and an imprisonment of less than 1 year. But any crime that has a fine for more than $1,000, that's felonious crime. Any crime that has a punishment of imprisonment for more than 1 year. That's felonious. So for felony, TJ can be prosecuted, can be tried, and in fact can be jailed. So let him do the honorable thing. And I think Liberians collectively, the social, civil society group, the media institutions, it shouldn't be a matter of, a press conference is held, and at the end of the day, the matter has rested. No. We at 2A Radio, we will follow these events. Maybe up to the next election, the TJ does not turn over this car. We will occasionally ask the question, where is this car? And I think the Liberia National Police should in fact arrest that car, park that car because the car is not registered. TJ cannot register that car. Another thing we're going to watch out for is how the TJ register a car without a title. So this is not an issue that we're going to arrest right now. We'll follow this matter. When TJ produces the title, nobody in America can falsify the title because that car was registered in the system. So any title that is displayed, we will look at the information and research it. If necessary, we'll take pen and paper and write the motor division of the state of Minnesota. And they will not hesitate to give information on the car. So let TJ do the honorable thing. Let him go before the court. Let him tell the title to the court and answer to the court. Let assuming the Patricia lie on TJ, she herself can, she can suffer the consequences as a result of lying on an honorable senator. But until then, until we reach that level, TJ must do the honorable thing. And the honorable thing is either he turn the car over to Patricia or turn the car over to the court. Let the court investigate the matter. If the court determine that the car belongs to TJ, that's an honorable thing to do. Then we always say, okay, TJ, I think TJ is in a better position. But to leave the matter, to leave the proof outside of this matter and want to filibuster around it, we think it is the wrong thing to do. And because Liberians don't follow issues, so TJ want to take advantage of that. But the fact that we all are trying to introduce something new in Liberia, we're going to follow this matter. So we want to call on TJ to do the most honorable thing. Let him provide the evidence of that vehicle. Let him show the proof that the car belongs to his brother. And we will follow this matter because we believe that Liberians, both outside and inside, must equally be protected. The law to serve the citizens of the country equally. So in this matter, TJ must do the honorable thing to provide a title or turn the car over to Patricia. Patricia need not to be crying, passing around the place. She said she was not even sure that the court would have protected her. To be what it is, people need to do the honorable thing to cite TJ. And TJ refusal is a flagrant disrespect to the court. Right? It is a flagrant disrespect to the court. And we think TJ must do the most honorable thing to turn the car over. Alta, how are you? Alta, are you hearing me? Alta? Sorry, correspondent is having. Ta, how are you? Hello? Ta, are you hearing me? Hello? Okay, sorry about audience. Today we're having some little problem with this stuff. So technician who always working this stuff is not around this moment. So we are having some technical issue here. We hope that we. So how are you? Are you hearing me?
Hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Anyway, we just discussed some issues here, but since you are here, what's happening from Grand Bassa County? Let's take from you, then we'll continue the discussion. So we are shifting our discussion a little bit. We want to hear from our correspondent who is in Grand Bassa County. I'm sure he has some briefing information for us. Ty Yubi Garnet, how are you? Hello, Ty.
Grand Bassa is relatively calm, and it's good to be back after the weekend. But how was your weekend?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad to be here and thank God that we all have life. Yeah, it's pretty good for our end, except that the cold season is on.
Okay, Grand Bassa is relatively kind. I speak to you from Buchanan, the nation's second capital, specifically around the port, and I'm right along the Atlantic Ocean this Monday morning. And it's
Okay,
that
and so
we joined the war to bring the folks up to speed with happenings in and about Liberia, specifically Grand Bassa County. A lot happened over the weekend, and so we thought to inform Liberians, diaspora Liberians, and other folks following two-way radio from across the world what is actually unfolding in Grand Bassa County. Over the
mm,
weekend, you may be aware that we've been reporting issues regarding the Aslam Mission area. There was a group named and styled Bassa, the Bassa United Front. They petitioned their legislators, and the legislator received that petition, and they've been forwarding same to the both houses. And over the weekend, a specialized committee was set up to come and look into some of those concerns emanating from citizens of Grand Bassa County. And some lawmakers from Grand Bassa County also accompanied the specialized committee. And the committee that visited Bassa, members of said committee include Sano County uh, Senator uh, Augustine Chie, Senator of Nima County Jeremiah Kuhn, Senators of Montserrat County, Abraham Darius Dillon and Sir Joseph, Senator of Bapulu County, Madam Botokane, Senator of River Chief County, Jonathan Sengbe, and Senator Yobli Kanga Lawrence, Representative Thomas Alexander Goswa, and the direct lawmaker of Buchanan City, Honorable Matthew Fairplay Joe. They were all part of that specialized committee. And over the weekend, they toured the Asla Metal facility to understand some of those concerns raised by citizens regarding their own social corporate responsibilities and what are due. And they were to have a meet with the citizenry to give their own findings from their assessment or tour made during their visit to Grand Bassa County. But said meeting has been scheduled for May week. That will be on Wednesday, the 8th of December, 2021. And so we were able to interact with of the residents and citizens of Grand Bassa County that
how did you
express
get?
confidence in their legislators for turning up to their cry because they've complained about the concession they're living up to its social corporate responsibilities, but all of the efforts made were proven fertile. But for their recent engagements and the rapid response from the 54th legislature, they actually expressed satisfaction and they reposed confidence that some of those issues raised will be amicably resolved. So we look forward to the citizens meeting that is scheduled with the specialized committee that will be on Wednesday of this week.
So from the meeting, Ty, you as were you present
Come again, sir?
from the meeting? You as a journalist, were you present? Did you attend any of their gathering at the Asala Mental facilities?
I attended marathon meetings called by the citizenry, particularly under that name and styled Basel United Front. And before or prior to the petitioning ceremony, they held a meeting at Hotel Buchanan. and we attended that meeting. To some extent, the press was not allowed in their second meeting with the company, but yet still the company gave us update because the company did one of the core meetings by the citizenry, and they were able to have a seesaw discussion wherein the company did agree with some of the claims made by the citizenry, and on the other hand, they didn't agree, but it was amicably resolved, and the company promised to come back to the citizenry to give redress to some of those cardinal issues that they raised. Some of the issues that have been raised by the citizenry has to do with adherence by ArcelorMittal to the mineral development agreement signed between she and the government of Liberia. And some of the issues raised has to do with health facility, educational facility, and affected communities getting their just benefits from the social development funds. And the company promised to get back to the citizens in the soonest possible time to give an amicable solution to some of those concerns raised. But trust what? Whilst the senior were waiting for the company to return to give a redress to some of their claims made, the company and the government of Liberia were already in the vanguard of signing an 800 million extension of ArcelorMittal's concession operations in Liberia. And up to current, the
So,
outcry
Tad,
for the citizenry have pressure.
if I may just get clarity on that, is there an agreement currently before the legislature to as an addendum to the current agreement ArcelorMittal is having with the Liberian government?
Well, currently, the agreement is before the legislature, but before signing this agreement, they've thought it prudent enough to understand some of those issues raised by the citizens in Grand Bassa, Bong, and Nema counties. But specifically, Grand Bassa County has really been putting up pressure when it comes to the company's strict adherence to their social corporate responsibility and the mineral development agreement.
So, from ArcelorMittal, were you able to hear from them? So I was asking if you heard from the government representative, meaning the senators and representatives, and I was wondering if the company, just to have heard from them, was there any briefing from the company?
I'm getting you too clear, but if I already understood you,
Okay,
I
so
think
my
you are
concern
asking
is
the reps from the county their own
the
involvement.
senators. Are you getting me? Hello?
Hmm. You are coming in distorted, but hope you can rephrase that question because I'm not getting you too.
But you hearing me now? Hello? Well, we having some weird problem. So are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, Tom? Yeah. But we still having some technical issues here from Todd, and we were just asking because the senators went to Grand Bassa County to meet with the management of ArcelorMittal. ArcelorMittal is a company that has a standing agreement between the Liberian government and itself. So senators went in there to look at the plight of the people. So from there, senators are saying they're going to have a town hall meeting where they're going to tell senators, citizens, what the outcome of the meeting was. In the same vein, we also wanted to know what the company said. You know, the company may have briefed the press, or they may have said, well, they're not going to say anything until the senators would have briefed citizens. But when there's a conflict between the company and the citizens, the labor ministry is provided with that authority to really investigate and know what the agreement is all about. the senators can do much, but that would be if the labor ministry that is responsible for concessionaire agreement, to be the adherence of agreement. If they failed, then the senators will get involved. Better still, the senators have oversight responsibility. If they went there and there was a need to tell Liberians what is happening or what is unfolding, we need to also hear from the company. That's what I was asking, if indeed the company spoke to the media.
You are quite correct. There are line ministry agencies responsible for also monitoring concessionaires in Liberia. Like you did
Okay.
mention, the Ministry of Labor, uh, it has a serious involvement into this, and also
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at LITI, the Liberia Extractive Industry Transparent Initiative, is
Mm-hmm.
also an autonomous agency responsible for monitoring concessionaires in Liberia,
Mm-hmm.
particularly concessionaires that are extracting resources from Liberia. But what I know for sure is that these legislators are exercising their oversight responsibilities, which is part
Okay.
of the three cardinal functions of each lawmaker. And I think that is what they are actually exercising currently.
Okay. So besides
And
the
I want
only
to
that you're going to follow up
honestly
there, what is
that from
what
their
is
findings, they will now invite the requisite line ministries and agencies to address some of those issues that they've discovered from their findings.
okay? But besides ArcelorMittal, is there any other issue?
Happening in Buchanan, like over the weekend, students, market women, Yana boys, motorcyclists received the presence of the current Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Honorable Nathaniel McGill. He paid a courtesy visit to Basso along with friends and partners to ensure that market women are given a loan to enhance their businesses and also to ensure that students are kept in school because up to current, many parents are still crying that they cannot afford fees to have their kids placed in school, even including public schools. So this has been a serious outcry, not only from citizens of or residents of Basso, but from many other parents across Liberia. But I don't know why. But one of Liberia's famous politicians always say that one of Liberia's political hot zones is Basso. But it was a rousing welcome given to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs on Nathaniel McGill over the weekend. He came with entourage. Paul Seti, the CEO of Sea Brother, was present, and also the CEO of Jetty Brother was present, and they were able to raise up to $925,000 from a 50 million scholarship program that was launched in the county over the weekend. And according to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, this program was intended to render financial aid for private and public school students. And at the same vein, he was able to give out 10 million Liberian dollars to market women to enhance their businesses. And that was one of the happenings here over the weekend. But there were mixed reactions from the financial distribution across the county, mainly from the teachers. Teachers, we interacted with few of the folks, and the teachers raised concerns that whenever certain things happen, they really don't think about them. Particularly, parents will cry that they need to sell to send their kids to school. The kids will cry that they do not have school fees
Can I hold
to
you
go to
right there and get
school.
some
But
clarity?
unfortunately, the teachers that tutor them can have, and the only missed reactions from the entire program over the weekend came from the teachers.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Did Minister Mangel say where the money was coming from? Are you getting me? We're having some real technical issues this morning. My concern is the Minister for State and Presidential Affairs, Antonio Mangel, gave 10 million Liberian dollar to marketeers or business people, and at the same time, they raised some, I think, 900 plus thousand dollars for students and community dwellers in Grand Bassa County. So I'm asking the question: did he say where the money is coming from? Was it his personal gesture, or was it from the president's office? Was it from a budget line that he's distributing, or what was it about? That's the question I'm asking. Whether there's any information as to where the money is coming from. Tab, we're having a very terrible problem to this morning. We don't know what is going on. We hope that we can have. Tab, are you hearing me? No, Tab? Okay. So Tab, we can get you. So that's a hit, and we can keep our listeners suspended. But this is what we're having. He's just giving us some update as to what is unfolding in Grand Bassa County. He spoke about ArcelorMittal, the standing minor agreement between ArcelorMittal and the Lebanese government. Senators went to Grand Bassa County to meet with the management of that company. In the same vein, Minister Nathaniel McGill, who is Minister for Presidential Affairs, he was also in Grand Bassa County. And according to our correspondent, Ty Yubiganet, he said Lieutenant McGill did dish out $10 million to to marketeers or business people in that part of Liberia. In the same vein, he said the sum of 900,000 or something was also raised, and that would also go towards students and marketeers how to provide loan for these people. My question was to Tar was whether he had any information as to where the money is coming from. The 10 million of them, where was it coming from? He said a personal gesture from the Minister of State and Presidential Affairs, or was he sent by the President of Liberia? Did George Weah sent Lieutenant McGill to give this huge amount to citizens of Grand Bassa County? Or is it a budget line that they're going to be distributing some money to different citizens of the country? And that was my concern. So I don't know whether Ty is hearing me. If Ty is not hearing me, we're going to proceed from this thing. Ty, you still here? You hear me? No, Ty, are you there? So I'm just asking where the money is coming from. If you hear me, if you have any information, we'll be glad to hear from you. So I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, we don't know what's going on. We can get so we're going to proceed with what we're discussing. And so the issue we have this morning, we're discussing the issue that had to do with the question whether senators or representatives, people elected by Liberians to serve them, whether they can be arrested while performing their constitutional duty as a senator or as a representative. And to answer that question, we say yes, a senator or a representative can be arrested for a crime committed if a crime of a felony, breach of the peace, or treasonable crimes committed by any senator. Indeed, that senator can be arrested, tried, or prosecuted, or even a sentence, that is to send to jail. Or even there are some petty crimes that can be raised to a felony. Felony has elements. So one of the staining elements of a felony is that in a crime, petty crime, misdemeanor, when a judge decides that a misdemeanor has a sentence of more than 1 year, let's say 1 year and 1 day, that senator can be arrested because that's a felony right there. Or if a fine is imposed by a judge for more than $1,000 for any minor crime. So that in itself will be equal to a felony. So no senator can stay outside of the court and say his action is not felonious. That's why when a judge cites a senator, the senator needs to go before the court and explain himself. It's probable that the senator will have a better position to inform the court, of false allegations levied against him or her. But the absence of going before the court and claiming that the Constitution protects you is the wrong thing to do. Liberia being a democratic country, everyone in that land must be respecters of the law, not individuals who will hide behind the Constitution. TJ is not explaining the Constitution as it should be said. TJ is not a constitutional lawyer, so he cannot claim to be protected by the Constitution. He should have had a lawyer. The senators had, I think there's a legal counsel to the Liberian Senate and also the House of Representatives. So if there's any issue, those issues should go before. In fact, the legal counsels have limitations when it comes to issues of the court. The legal counsel should represent the senators in the court, but not for a senator to refuse to go to the court. To refuse is contemptuous. And I think Nuta needed to enforce that. How? He needs to inform the full bench. Take the record and send it to the full bench. Inform them. So why doesn't inform them? Because for the court to be respected, action can be taken against no matter who it is. So when TJ is saying he cannot go to the court because the senators are in session, the Constitution did not say that. The Constitution said we are attending session. You cannot be arrested for vote and for opinion expressed, not for taking someone's car or on allegation of committing forgery. You are answerable to the court. So TJ must do the honorable thing to go to the court and answer those questions. It's very likely that he have a stronger position. He can better defend himself. All the press conference, the argument, the statements made, take all of those issues. The biggest thing that TJ needs to do is to display the title for the car. That's the most honorable thing to do. TJ does not use the title of the car. To a reader will continuously follow this matter. So we urge and find the Liberian Senate. They said when there is an issue that affects the senator, it should affect the entire Senate. So because of that, or by that standard, the senators themselves must take this matter, must take seize of this matter, and make sure that TJ does the right thing. TJ needs to either turn the car over to the owner, or TJ must show proof of ownership. If TJ does not show proof of ownership, the car does not belong to him. The Liberian National Police, in fact, should impound that vehicle. TJ said the vehicle is not registered. Why is he driving the car? If the senator is driving a car that's not registered and he's not bothered, why should an ordinary man who is also riding a car that's not registered be arrested and car impounded? So we think the other thing need to be done. That's what we say. We have to, Tab, we don't know whether you're still getting us. Okay, Tab posted that the money was raised from friends and partners. Friends and partners of the CDC government, I assume, were people who raised the money. He also said in his comment that made it clear that it's not government money. Okay, so Nathaniel Magade said the money was the $10 million was donated to the people of Glen Basel County from his own pocket. So that's what I'm hearing from the correspondent. Yeah, you can read that. I'm listening to you. If you can read the two other stories, we would appreciate it. Now your volume is off. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but your volume is off. So can you take out the earphone and see whether that can help your volume to are you hearing me? Okay, we can hear Ty, so we're gonna wrap up this and see what we Ty, I'm sure you're not hearing me, right? If you're not hearing me, we're gonna end this broadcast. That's what we have for today, and then we come up with another edition. Ty, are you hearing me? Well, this is terrible this morning, and we apologize to many listeners. Well, again, this is how we come to the end of this edition of Inside Liberia. Until probably tomorrow, or we find another day and see whether we can bring a rebroadcast of this event and get us to get here on Thursday. Until then, the issue has been whether a senator will generate in the university. And the answer to that is yes, senator will be arrested for crime committed. And here from Grand Bassa, the two issues that came from Grand Bassa, Marcelo Mattel and Natana Magil visit to Grand Bassa County. Natana Magil from his own pocket donated or gave out 10 million, 10 million dollars, and also gave out they raised friends and partners to that of the CDC government. There was an amount of about 900,000 that was raised. So these are the big news that came from the Grand County. And we appreciate for that. And we are sorry that we cannot continue. We're not hearing you. We don't know what is really happening right now. We can hear you, Ty. We're not hearing you. We're not hearing Ty. So until then, this is how we end today's program. And on the Thursday, we bring you the new edition of Inside Liberia, where our technician will be at the background, be able to monitor and tell us how far we can go. But until then, today, this is how we come to the close of today's edition, and hope to see you on Thursday. Have a great evening. So we apologize. Send us the script. We're going to publish that on the website, and then perhaps we can read the stories on Thursday. Have a nice day.